you think about the first period so far? You got more ups or more downs? Where do you want to start?
More ups there. That was a good period.
Mhm.
We have the majority of the dangerous chances. Um, what a pass by Pedersen to find Hronik. You could see that play develop. Like I was literally screaming at the TV, like in my head, Hronik's to go down that side because there was a huge lane, and sure enough, Pedersen saw it, Hronik saw it, and finds the back of the net. Just a really good play. Pedersen hit a crossbar there, short side on wall. Hronik hit another post, the corner bar there. It could be 3-4 nothing easily by now, but really good stuff there. Attacking. Down, I guess, maybe the power play. They didn't really get much going. And what was that first line power play? Like, what a mess of people out there. You had, what was it? Hoglander, Pedersen, DeBrusk, Hronik, and
I think it was Suter.
don't even, yeah, Suter. Pius Suter. Like, what is going on? We are desperate to figure out that power play if that's what we're trolling out there is power play 1 right now.
Yeah, not a good look. If I mean, without Quinn Hughes, is at this point with nothing happening. Maybe they're just trying to try something new, but the result was the same, nevertheless, with no shots on that power play.
Yeah, but it did look more dangerous. Just couldn't get anything through. And our 5-on-5 play right now, the first 4 minutes had to weather a bit the attack by Toronto, but after that we controlled the majority of that period. Obviously scary when Demko leaves a game voluntarily and pulls himself. We'll have to wait and see what the news is on that. It really didn't look like anything bad. Maybe a shot that stung him a bit, or maybe he forgot a piece of equipment or something. I'm just hoping it's nothing serious, and we see him back on the bench or back in the net to start the second period here.
I'm hoping maybe he just forgot to turn the stove off when he left his house, so he's quickly got to just run home and go turn that off.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe he's got a leaky bum. Who knows? I will take any excuse other than he's injured again.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Because there was another play very similar, like almost a carbon copy. Phil Hronik with another chance going down that side. Was it Elias Pettersson who sent him the second pass? I feel like it might have been.
Like on the play that he hit the post?
Yeah.
Or on the goal?
On the play he hit the post. So I feel like
that was D Petey.
Yeah. So you literally had Elias Pettersson and Elias Pettersson making the same pass. No wonder everyone gets so confused.
Well, you heard the poor announcer there. He's getting all tongue tied. Elias. But yeah, one of the Petterssons.
Yeah. Well, and then physical game so far tonight too. Both teams with 10 hits through the first period. Both teams flying. It's Saturday night. Everyone likes having fun, and you can see, like you said, that first 4 minutes, the Maple Leafs definitely wanted to set the tone for the game, but the Canucks really turned things back over. But you love to see the physicality on a Saturday night game.
Yeah, right before that goal, Petey in the corner threw a big reverse hit to keep that forecheck going. So, moments like that, and then there was a moment about 10 minutes into the period. Myers made a good play where he looked like he was going to pinch, and I held my breath for a second, and then he turned back and made the right play to get back, and that made me feel good about where Myers' game is at and where his head's at tonight. So,
can the game get any weirder when you have a Myers on a different team taking a penalty to start the game?
I don't know. Like, that's just everything about this Canucks team is weird, eh? You got all these Petterssons out there and Phillips, and you got Myers on one side and Myers on the other side. It's
chaos, anarchy.
Yep.
I did just pick this up, which I showed you earlier. But I mean, that's pretty much never boring, right?
Yep.
And then I guess Big Hog was saying in chat too, Forbert got the assist on that goal, passing over Pettersson. That's his 100th point in the NHL, so it's got to feel good for a guy for, a milestone of some kind, but the first 100 points in his NHL career.
Yeah, of course. That's always good.
Give him an up for that. So let's talk about the captain who's not playing tonight. He is out again. So what do you think this means moving forward? Because there was a question to Talk It today saying, what do you think if he misses today? Does he play next week? And he said, I don't know. And then the reporter followed up and said, well, if there was a Canucks game next week, would he play? And then Tocchet also refused to answer that one. What are you thinking right now? The status of Hughes is?
I don't think Tocchet wanted to commit in the sense of like, okay, if he can play a NHL game, then he should be fine to go to the Four Nations. I think more is kind of what caught Tocchet off guard there. I really don't think they want him to go. I would imagine they want him to rest the oblique strain that he's fighting right now. He's going to have to make a decision, obviously, soon because the tournament starts, on Tuesday, I believe? Monday or Tuesday, pretty much right away. And they're going to have to name a replacement. So I would rather see him stay at home and rest, but you never know. Ultimately, it's the player's call. If he feels he's healthy and the doctors say he's healthy, then it's up to him. But I think he knows that the bigger picture is making the playoffs and being healthy for that. So I would expect we see an announcement here soon that he is not going to the Four Nations and he'll be taking some time to rest.
Well, so the other thing, like funny that when I was going through the stats that we don't really need, Quinn Hughes is still leading the team in scoring the last 5 games, despite the fact that he hasn't played in the last 3 games, which is wild to me. Right?
Yeah.
It tells you how good he is and how much he means to this team. But I did send you a link to some stats that came out. Obviously, without Quinn Hughes for the last 3 games, some pretty impressive numbers coming out with these new guys. Was it 30 high danger scoring chances for the Canucks in the last 3 games, and then in the 3 games previous, it was only like 19 or something like that without Quinn Hughes. So huge difference with these new fast guys in the lineup. Must mean Tocchet's not stressing out as much as he would without Quinn Hughes in the lineup, eh?
Definitely. When you have guys that can rush the puck the way O'Connor and Hedel do, they force the rest of the team to kind of keep up with them, because if you don't keep up with them, then you're not going to be part of the play. So you got to get there and be ready. And then as well, Marcus Pettersson really likes to get that puck out quickly. He likes to get the first pass on the stick of the forwards and get it out of out of our end, which is something we were screaming for when Hughes was out of the lineup, was for someone to be able to make that first pass. We were relying heavily and praising Eric Brandstrom for just being able to get the puck out of our own end, but now we got that double whammy where Marcus Pettersson can do it, but he can also keep the puck out of our net. So all 3 of these guys have brought great things to the lineup. And I saw today that Mancini got sent down to AHL.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping he gets some games in the next 2 weeks during the break. And then on the other side of the Four Nations, they call him back up to maybe get into an NHL game or 2.
Yeah. He didn't get any playing time when he was up here, but I guess he's probably just doing a lot of video, going through systems and all that kind of stuff. Do you think he gets into the lineup for the game tonight? But I guess it depends on when he actually left. I'd say it's probably highly unlikely he plays in the game against Colorado this evening.
Yeah, no, I don't think he plays tonight, but I think he definitely plays in their next series, just to get some skating in while the rest of the guys are off for 2 weeks. And it'll allow the Canucks to kind of see what they got in him. And then I would imagine after that he'll get a shot back up with the big club, because he did play 15 games to start the year with New York. So he is ready, very close to being ready to making that jump. And a big physical right-hand shot defenseman is just what the doctor ordered for this team.
Now that you said that about him playing in the AHL, do you think that a bunch of these guys who are kind of the bubble guys will get sent down to the A while the Canucks are off there on their 2-week break, or do the Canucks have to keep a certain amount of people up, I guess, to keep their roster at its current levels?
Yeah, I think they'll have to keep their roster at a certain level during the 2-week break, but I imagine the guys that don't need to clear waivers will go back down. Like Oman will stay up. Carlson will probably go back down to get some games in. Other than that, we don't really have many guys sitting around. They're all kind of playing, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not sure the ruling on that for the Four Nations, if there's a specific roster count that they're going to need during the break or what. But I really hope that they do allow the AHL guys to go down and play, because it'll be good for them to keep the legs moving.
So talking about some Abbotsford Canucks, let's talk about some prospect Canucks, because our boy Mynio scored a goal that I don't think I've ever seen one quite like that before. Can you describe what happened to our young man, the young defenseman?
So first off, since he got to Calgary, the guy's been unreal. Just a kind of like a change of scenery, rejuvenation for him after the World Juniors. But so it was an overtime play, and I don't know how he ended up in the corner as the defenseman. I mean, I guess 3-on-3, you're kind of moving the puck and cycling, and you kind of end up where you end up. But a real good look from another hitman player on the blue line found Mynio in the corner, and Mynio was skating backwards towards the front of the net. And I don't even think I don't even think a forward could pull this off. He continued to skate backwards, and as he crossed in front of the goalie, he roofed it backhand top corner. I guess you would say short side or far. I don't even know to call it far side or short side, but it like absolutely shelved it. The goalie didn't even really know what had happened because it was off his stick so quickly. It was an incredible goal. So just really, really exciting to see that kind of offensive talent and awareness from a defenseman that we got in the prospect pool. And yeah, just another good thing to see from our young guys out there in the junior world.
I'm gonna put this up here because Major Chow has a question for you before we move on to the next one. He says, "At Paragraph Pro, at Nothing Is Perfect, what's the definition of clearing waivers?" He doesn't know what that means.
So to send someone down who has a one-way contract in the NHL, sometimes they're like low-paying ones, but to send them down to the minors, they have to go through the waiver process, which is a 24-hour waiting period where other teams can put in a claim to that player and basically steal him off your roster. Because if you're sending him down to the minors, you're saying, we signed this guy to play in the NHL. However, we don't have a spot for him, or we don't feel he's good enough for our team, and then other teams might pick him up and take him. However, if no team puts in a claim in those 24 hours, the player will then clear waivers and be sent down to the AHL. The flip side of that is sometimes they have to go through recall waivers, which is even scarier. If a player has to come up through recall waivers and a player picks him up on recall, you're actually the team that loses him actually is liable for half his salary for the remainder of this season. Yeah. So the recall waivers are a little scary, but going down on waivers, just a process for if to let guys who have signed one-way deals, it's an opportunity for them to find another team that maybe has a spot for them to play. And then also, it's just a way to hold the big clubs accountable, so they can't just be sending guys up and down and treating them like yo-yos.
Cool. AHL jersey change rules. So the NHL used to have white jerseys at home and colored jerseys on the road, which a lot of you young fans won't know. The AHL continued that on until recently. So what's the deal now?
Yeah, you'll have to fill me in on that because I must have missed that one. But are they going to home whites again?
No, so they've switched it because the AHL was doing home whites, and now the AHL is going to be changing it so that they're doing colored at home. So now the Abbotsford Canucks will wear their green jerseys at home instead of their white jerseys. This is one of the first times I get to inform Dustin about something. You're the guy with all the information.
Hey, I remember seeing them talking about the last time they'll be wearing their green jerseys this season. So I don't know if it's like I maybe there's a rule on the third jerseys as well. They can't wear the third jerseys, so maybe Abbotsford has to go back to their white and blue. I don't know.
Does Abbotsford have a third jersey?
I thought they did, but I guess maybe they don't now. They just got the green and white, so we'll be seeing the green at home, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I like the green jersey better.
Well, it's funny because obviously the rule goes back to when it was about obviously the care of the trainers. because if you have your jerseys on the road and they're white, it's going to be a lot harder for them to be nice white by the time you go through a 6-game road trip. So back in the day, they used to have it so you wear your colored jerseys on the road, because then it's a little easier to hide whether or not it's a dirty jersey. So you'll actually notice, if you saw the Colorado highlights last night, Colorado was wearing their dark jerseys against Abbotsford, and Abbotsford was wearing their whites, and it should have been the other way. But moving forward for the rest of the season, it will now be the NHL and the AHL will be lined up with their jersey rules.
The more you know.
Abby Canucks, speaking of those boys, they had a game last night. What can you tell me?
Back on the win train. A really good game, real back and forth game against Colorado Eagles. They are third place in the standings, so a team we are chasing a little bit. However, we were able to get the 5-4 victory in overtime. Artur Silovs stopped 25 of 29 shots against to get the victory. Arshdeep Bains with a fantastic game. He had 2 goals and an assist, including the game winner. So his last 3 games or so really starting to find his offensive stride again, which is good to see. Maybe he'll offer some depth scoring down the road if we have some injury issues or things as we go here. I know he kind of lost some confidence when he came up and didn't really produce the way he wanted to in the NHL. And then when he went back down, was kind of just going through the motions. So really good to see him starting to string together some nice games here.
And I said Shilov's stopped. It was 25 of 29 shots. 4 goals is not great, but he still looked pretty good last night, didn't he?
He did. The 4 goals that beat him, I mean, one was on the power play, and most of them were really good setups. Same with Abbotsford. All their goals were good passing plays. A good screen by Klimovich on Cole McWard's opening goal. Max Sasson had a goal on the power play with an assist from Bains and Ratu. So all the main guys that have kind of been on the score sheet for the last month during these the winning streak, and I guess the last 10 games they've only lost 1. So all the guys you want to see on the score sheet are finding the score sheet. So good stuff. But also of note, Lecker-Mackey's still not in the lineup. So he stayed in Abbotsford, didn't make the trip down to Colorado. I'm not sure if he is going to get into the next series or when he'll be due back. They haven't really offered a committed response to his injury.
Cool. Dustin, thank you very much for stopping by for the Rusty and Dusty Sideshow. And we'll see you in the postgame show, brother.
Sounds good.
Nothing is perfect.